Hello and welcome to Talking About Podcast where we talk about anything and everything. And today I don't really have anything to talk about. I'm gonna preface with that. Um, I have this paragraph that I wrote last night while listening to an artist that I just recently found while crying. So we're gonna kind of dive into that and just like where I'm at right now with life, if that makes sense. So, this is me reading this paragraph that I wrote. Overwhelmed, tired, exhausted, working two jobs, and being in a relationship but not being in a relationship. The emotional feeling, the emotional feeling of not like you're doing enough, but doing too much. Like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I can do so much better than what I'm doing right now. And just like catch a break, if that makes sense. I this is a very messy paragraph, but the next point that makes sense says I'm feeling so paralyzed in fear of not doing enough while also feeling like I'm doing too much. Like, is it really that much? Like, is it really worth that much to me? And I believe that I'm just talking about money at that point. Yeah, is money really worth that much to me? That is the last thing that I wrote last night. I think I wrote like 40 words. Yeah, 43 words is what I wrote. um, so to continue with that is I've been working two jobs recently. Last that I uploaded was about 2-3 weeks ago, and I recorded that 2-3 weeks in advance. So last time I actually came on here and talked was about a month ago, which is kind of a long time in my life. But I'm currently working two jobs. Reason being is that I took a pay cut from Cape Fear, my old job, and I took a pay cut of 2 hours, $2 an hour, and then I came to this new job. And I really like this new job, but it was just such a drastic pay cut, and I'm not working full 40-hour weeks there yet because it's not summertime and labor is high as shit. So I ended up getting a raise about a month in, because I was like upfront about it. I'm like, dude, I can't continue to work here. Like, there's much better things that I can be doing with my time than working here. Um, but I got a raise, and then I got this second job with Kaylin working at Cold Stone, and I make a whopping $10 an hour there, and I work there. I think I'm scheduled like 16 hours this week, but last week I was scheduled like 24. So between the two jobs, I'm working roughly 50, 55 hours a week, which isn't a lot, but is also way more than what I'm used to. I work two really low stress jobs, but I'm just tired. I haven't had a day off. I'm not gonna lie. Today is my first day off I've had in nearly a month. Yeah. I work 7 days a week between the two jobs. And there's Saturdays, which are my really, really busy days. This Saturday I'll work 7 to 2 one job and then 5 to 11 the next job. Which is a fucking crazy day. But I've been doing this thing where I get really anxious about my money and I will refuse to check my banking app, and I just pray to hope to God that I still have money on my credit card. That's kind of where I'm at in life, if that makes sense. Like, I get paid twice in a week, because both my jobs pay in the same week, so I get paid on Wednesdays and Fridays of every other week. So I get paid 4 times a month. One check's about double the other, so I'll make like, say I make like $300-$400 at Cold Stone. I'll make like $700-$800 more before tax, obviously, but net. So I make roughly 1,000, 1,100 every 2 weeks, which isn't great. I wish I could be making more. Um, But yeah, I get tipped out every other week though. So every week that I don't get paid, I get tipped out. So I make an extra like $150 cash, which is my grocery bill. So excuse me. In retrospect, I'm kind of stacking up money. I've been a lot better about my money with having a car and having a car payment and paying for insurance, which yeah, paying for insurance. That just messed me up because I should have paid for insurance. I think I did. Let's hope I paid for insurance. Um, yeah, but like I've been getting really anxious about money just in general. Like I feel like I'm not earning enough for my age group. I feel like I'm not doing enough, and I got told by one of my favorite coworkers at Bistro that all I do is work, which kind of like hit me, and I was like, oh, like yeah, all I really do is work. Like I said, I'm working 55, 60 hour weeks, and it's I don't get a day off any day except for like once in a while I get a day off. And it's like, yeah, all I do is work, and like, why am I only working? Like recently I've been having this desire to quit my jobs, sell everything I have, and buy a one way ticket to somewhere in the world that's not in the US. Because what am I supposed to do with my life? Like I sit here and I do my jobs, I do my work, I clock out and I go home. And I don't do anything meaningful when I'm home. I don't have the energy really to. I come home and I'm up till about midnight and I pass out and I go to sleep. Like there's nothing in my life right now that is giving me any meaningful connection or meaningful meaning or anything. Like there's there's not a single thing in me that's kind of driving me anywhere, if that makes sense. Like I sit here, like I said last night was the first time that I came and sat at my computer, and I sat at my computer and I played a song. Let me see what song it was. It was Bliss by KLSR. He's an artist known for creating music based on images and the way the images move, and like the image will correlate with the beats of the song and stuff. It's really interesting work. I sat here and stared at my computer and cried listening to this quote unquote song. Is noises really. And that is the first time in about a month that I've kind of really felt something. I've been really emotionally unavailable while also being way too emotionally present, if that makes sense. Like I I've been so stressed out about so many things. Not really even stressed out. I've just been so distracted by everything else going in my life that I haven't taken a second to just like think about how I'm feeling or how I should be feeling at this time in my life. Like summer's right around the corner and it's sunny and I finally have a car and it's like what am I supposed to do? Like what if I just like like I just wanna drive and not stop. I watched Baby Driver the other day for the first time ever, when I was actually on the plane back home, and damn, a lot has happened since I've last talked about any of all this, but on the plane back or the plane to Oregon, I watched Baby Driver, and it made me realize a lot of things. Like maybe I'm just not living my life like enough. Maybe I need to go deal drugs for my living wage. Maybe I'd make more money. Maybe I'd be happier. But yeah, I don't know how to be feeling or what to be feeling. I don't know how to live. I know how to work. I was recently talking to this girl, and she told me that I'm not an adult. And I was like, what do you mean I'm not an adult? Like, I'm 19 years old. I moved 3,000 miles away from my parents. I have two jobs. I pay for all my bills. I pay everything on time. Like, I'm building my credit. Like, I'm doing all the things that an adult would do. Like, I pay for my own fucking insurance. Like, that shit's expensive if you didn't know. Like, where's that $160 going to every month? The fuck? Like, but I was told that I wasn't an adult because I don't have the emotional maturity of one. And I was like, that's ironic coming from somebody who's a year and a half older than me. Like, girl, the fuck. But being told that I don't have an adult maturity about me is like, I don't know how to take it. Like, I didn't know whether to take this as a bad thing or a good thing. Like, because whenever I talk to somebody or whenever I have a new job or just like coworkers, people, they always ask me, "Oh, how old are you?" Because I work in a kitchen, and a lot of people, you have people spanning from 6 years old working in a kitchen to 15. Um, so I always get asked like how old I am, and I'll be like, "Oh, I'm 19," and they'll be like, "You're 19?" I'm like, "Yeah, like 19 years old. I was born in 2005." And they'll look at me and they're like, "You seem like you're 25, 26 years old." And I'm like, they're like, "You're mature." I'm like, how else am I supposed to be, while I'm at work? But then, like, being told that I don't have any emotional maturity as an adult, or the enough emotional maturity to be an adult, it's kind of a crazy thing to be told. Because, like, I don't, like I said, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Like, am I supposed to take that and start acting more serious and start talking about my 401k and start talking about like more futuristic goals for myself? Because I already have plenty of goals and I'm working my way towards them. Or am I supposed to continue to live like a child? Like, when I say live like a child, spend my money on fucking Krispy Kreme donuts and go and do these things on a random whim. Like going to the beach at 1 a.m. Like, that's what I did last night. Like, am I supposed to continue to live like that? Or am I supposed to get an adult job, an office job, a 9 to 5, come home, be unhappy, and do all these things? Like, I don't. What is the world wanting from me? What are the people who view me? What do they expect of me in that sense? Like, how am I supposed to go about and live my life in an emotionally mature way as a teenager? How does that work? Like, I just don't understand, you know? I have nothing more to say. But speaking about talking to more people, like, it's it is so appalling to me how I work these jobs and I meet these people. Like, a lot of people consider like working at Cold Stone or working in a kitchen like a halfway job. A lot of people work these jobs when they're in college. I work with a lot of college kids or high school kids, or when people are bridging between jobs or bridging between certifications or whatever, just like they're temporary jobs to people before they move out of something better. And I work these jobs and I don't know whether I'm supposed to continue to work these jobs or whether I should be getting a 9 to 5 or whether I should be like pursuing a certification that will get me more places in life. And I work in a kitchen because it is the most money I've ever made. It's an easy way to make a lot of money as well, especially come summertime here because I live in a tourist area, like a very touristy heavy place in North Carolina. But like, how am I supposed to do that? Like, how am I supposed to choose those things? Oh, continuing what I was gonna say, working with these people at work who are, like I said, there's people bridging gaps. They're in college, they're in high school, these things, but like working with these people who legitimately have no desire to do any better is kind of crazy. Like, what do you mean you're gonna sit here and you're gonna work at this job that's paying you this much amount of money, the same amount of money as a 19-year-old is making as a 24-year-old or a 26-year-old or a 30-year-old? Like, how do you go about that? Like, every job I've worked, there's always a person that's like, "Oh, I don't ever really plan on doing anything better with my life." I'm like, "What do you mean you don't ever plan on doing anything better with your life?" my microphone's broken, so don't mind it. But like, how do you sit here and desire nothing more for yourself? How do you sit here and tell yourself that you're just gonna rent for the rest of your life? How do you sit here and tell yourself that, oh, I'll never be able to afford kids, so I'm never gonna have kids? How do you sit here and struggle to pay your bills every month? Like, how does that work? Like, yeah, I don't have a lot of money saved up right now. Like, I yeah, like I struggle with money too sometimes, but like, how do you desire not to do anything better for yourself? Like, I have these goals for myself, and I am on the path to hitting these goals. And when I say I'm on the path, I still have probably like 3 or 4 years before I can even hit one of these goals realistically. But I legitimately, like, my goal is to buy a house before I turn 21. So I have about a year and a half to buy a house. In a year and a half, if I buy a house, I live in it for a year. I fix it up, rent it out, buy another house, take equity out, whatever, That is my goal. My goal is to build a generational wealth for myself and for my future family. Like, how can you sit here and tell me that you desire nothing more? You don't desire to ever be like financially free, or just free in the sense that you could take a week off of work and go drive somewhere. Like, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna take a week off of work and just drive. Like, and just go anywhere. Like, go to Georgia, do all these things. Like, what, like, go to Florida. Like, just legitimately drive and never look back. Or not never look back, but like, just drive and just live. If that makes sense? This podcast has been a mess. And I feel like this episode really includes that mess. But I have things to do. I have to be an adult. I just figured out that my car insurance didn't accept my proof of address. Like, bitch, as if I'm not sitting here in the address that I told you I live in, recording a podcast episode. So, yeah, it's funny. So I have to go figure out some adult things. I need to run to the store. I need to go to a locksmith. I feel like locksmiths are really expensive. Like, the fuck you mean I need a copy of my key set? I have to do my taxes tonight. I hope I get some money back, because I've been paying these bitches too much money. Like, the fuck you mean? Anyways, with that, I'll probably come back and record some more episodes. But for now, the podcast is kind of on a hiatus, just with being busy, and I have to figure out my thoughts before I can actually sit down and talk about anything, because, like, we saw how that goes today. So, as always, I will see you next time. Give this podcast a 5-star rating if you could, or recommend it to somebody who needs to be called the fuck out, because I think I'm gonna start going like a more aggressive type of way, if that makes sense, like a Leo Skeppy. I've been listening to a lot of him lately, so that's my 2 cents. Anyways, yeah, I hope you liked it, and I'll catch you next time.